It's going down. Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rachakwadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. Double honors to our apostles and elders, the great millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And welcome to another series of It's Going Down, being brought to you by the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rachakwadash. A brutal heat wave brings record highs in the 110 degrees and threatens power outages across California. And a hurricane could prolong it. Okay, so I'm just going to come out and say it. I think these devils have something to do with it, even though it's not them, it's Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai operating on the left-hand side. We must also consider the fact that they want a prolonged power outage, and they say that a hurricane could prolong it. Now, this was uploaded from CNN. Either way it goes, if it does happen, okay, ultimately it was the Lord on the left-hand side, okay, because the Lord controls all things. And a matter of fact, let's get that in Amos real quick before I continue. Okay, let's go to the 1611 King James Bible with the Apocrypha in it. And let's go to I think it's Amos chapter 3 verse 6. Okay, it says, Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people be not afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord have not done it? So blackouts is an evil thing that is caused by the Lord, okay? Let's get another one. Isaiah chapter 45 verse 7. It says, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So the Lord creates peace and he creates evil. So if there's some form of evil like hurricanes or people going without power outages, and let me tell you something, a lot can happen from power outages. We're talking without power you won't be able to keep your food cold. A lot of people, they have meats, they have a lot of refrigerated food, they have foods that they keep in their freezer, and stacking up on canned goods is like the last thing on their mind, So when the time comes, they're gonna have a bad day because, they wanted to stack up on mostly refrigerated and freezer food instead of stacking up on like canned good. I mean, not stacking up, but like a lot of people, they like to buy like refrigerated food and all that instead of like canned meats and boxed foods. So, I mean, there's a lot of foods that will last you a lot longer even without a refrigerator, corned beef hash being one of them, that's like canned meat right there. They have like canned salmon, canned fish, Chef Boyardee is another one, which I would not recommend eating Chef Boyardee. But ramen noodles, which I would not recommend eating ramen noodles. Brown rice, but especially a lot of these Edomites, they love having pork meat in their fridge. Like they'll buy a bunch of like pork meat, a lot of beef ribs, and they'll have them in their freezers. So if there's a power outage, that's like 40% of your food in the trash right there. because how you gonna keep your food cold, especially in hot blazing temperatures reaching over 110 degrees outside? How you gonna keep your food cold? How are you gonna keep your food frozen? You see, just some things to think about, man. A lot of people, they do things and they don't think ahead of time. It says you know what? Let me zoom in on this. Excuse me. So okay. Here it says a record-breaking heat wave has baked the West for days, fueling destructive wildfires. Hold on. Destructive wildfires. There's a scripture on that. Okay. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 20. I don't know if it's 20 verse 13, but okay, let's do this. You know what? I don't think it's 21. I think it's to 23rd chapter. Bear with me for one moment. So much scriptures be going through my head. Okay, Jeremiah chapter 21 verse 14. It says, "But I will punish you according to the fruit of your doings." According to the fruit of whose doings? According to the fruit of the wicked's doing. So if you're doing wickedness behind closed doors, if you're committing sodomy, if you're smoking, if you're committing pedophilia, if you're committing incest, bestiality, adultery, if you're doing drugs, if you're eating unclean foods, well, the Lord said He's going to punish you according to the fruit of your doings. And a part of that punishment is what? The Lord's going to take your habitation away from you. He's going to set your forest on fire. He's going to make your ass run out your home, retreat to a family's home that's somewhere far away from the wildfires, and all that because wildfires cost people tens of thousands of dollars. Okay, everything that's in your home, from your expensive TVs, your expensive TVs, your all that stuff, your expensive beds, your expensive sofas, your expensive tables, all that expensive shit. You spent all your money living on that, wanting to live out in the wildlife, and what happened? Well, let's see. The Lord said He was going to punish you according to the fruit of your doings, right? "But I will punish you according to the fruit of your doings, saith the Lord, and I will kindle a fire in the forest thereof, and it shall devour all things round about it." So the Lord said He was going to kindle a fire in the midst thereof. So a fire has been kindled. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. A kindled fire in the midst thereof. Okay? The Lord said He will kindle a fire. And the Lord is the one who's starting these wildfires. So it says a record-breaking heat wave was baked. A record-breaking heat wave has baked the West for days, fueling destructive wildfires and threatening rolling over shutoffs in California. And it could last even longer due to the effects of a hurricane forming along Mexico's Pacific coast. Well, there you go, okay? So not only is there a wildfire, but we're also going, let me tell you something, a wind and fire makes a deadly combination. So the Lord, here it is, there's a wildfire, but now the Lord is going to send a hurricane. Okay? Okay, now let me see if I can find that in Jeremiah 51. "And I will send unto Babylon fanners, which shall empty her land." Because, fanners is indeed talking about the nuclear destruction. But it can also be talking about these wildfires too, man. Because Yahushua said in, I believe it's the book of Luke, the 14th chapter. So he's coming to bring fire and more fire. And what would it be if it be already kindled? Okay. So Jeremiah chapter 51 verse 1, that saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me, a destroying wind. What is that destroying wind? That's talking about the destroying wind of an intercontinental ballistic missile. Because when those intercontinental ballistic missiles explode, it's gonna leave behind the when the intercontinental ballistic missile falls down from out the sky, the head of the capsule comes off and multiple nuclear warheads falls out of the capsule of the intercontinental ballistic missile, which causes multiple nuclear warheads to spread throughout the sky and fall down towards their designated target. Now, once a nuclear bomb hits ground zero, it explodes, creating what? A destroying wind. Okay? It says, and will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her. And we're not talking about a lady that's sitting in a chair, she's getting fanned by 2 royal guards. No. This is talking about a fan, your house is on fire and then the Lord send a tornado your motherfucking way. Okay? We're talking about that kind of fan, okay? Fucking half your neighborhood is on fire, then the Lord sent a typhoon or a hurricane in your direction. Cause the fire to spread even faster. Okay? So there's a wildfire. Now the Lord said he's going to send a hurricane. That's going to cause the wildfires to spread even quicker. Now yesterday, I was watching the brother Micah Allah from Los Angeles, and he did a beautiful lesson in his premiere live stream, and in the video he was showing all these abnormal weather effects in the video, and all these abnormal weather effects was happening in many different countries around the exact same time, at the exact same time, or within the exact same time vicinity, or within the vicinity around those same times, abnormal weather was taking place in different continents, and that was no coincidence, man. That was the Lord doing His work, man. 2nd Esdras the 9th chapter tells you that, in endings and effects and signs. So now we're hearing about California wildfires and the Lord sending a hurricane while it's still blazing hot outside. It says, and will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her. Because what do you think a hurricane does? A hurricane blows heavy, massive amounts of winds at high speed. Now picture that on top of a hurricane. Those fires are going to be spreading quickly. It says, and shall empty her land, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. Well, there you go. It says Sacramento hit 116 degrees Tuesday, the hottest day on record for the state capital, according to the National Weather Service. Records were also broken all over the Bay Area, with some cities shattering previous daily records by more than 10 degrees. We are now heading into the worst part of it. The risk of outages is real, California government Gavin Newsom said in a tweet Tuesday, adding that the temperatures in the state are unprecedented. Okay, the heat wave will be the hottest and longest on record for California for September, he said. And now, let me remind you, we're in the month of September, and look how hot it is in California. Over 110 degrees in the month of September. Come on, man. The Lord is doing His thing. California residents have for days been urged to set thermostats to 78 degrees or higher despite the heat, as well as avoid using major appliances to turn off all unnecessary lights between the hours of 4 p.m. and 9 p.m. So it's so hot outside that people are literally turning their lights off to avoid the extra heat. It says Pacific Gas and Electric, the nation's largest utility, have notified about 525,000 customers to prepare for potential rotating outages. Okay. California Independent System Operator, which manages most of the state's power grid, issued an emergency alert for Tuesday evening, saying grid conditions had worsened and energy supplies were insufficient to cover demand. The alert was lifted hours later, and the operator thanked consumer conversation. So that's pretty much all I'm going to read there. Lord's will, I was able to keep you brothers informed through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. With that, I'm going to say Shalom. It's on to the next one.